The NFL draft is about to start, and that means that everybody is speculating over who is the best quarterback in the draft. And in today's video, I'm going to go over the past 10 years to show, do teams actually know who the best quarterback in the draft is? And what I mean by that is I'm going to go over the top quarterbacks taken each year and show how the career turned out. And to be honest, these general managers don't exactly know what they are doing. First off, 2013, this was a terrible quarterback draft. Only E.J. Manuel and Geno Smith were taken in the first 2 rounds. So, both not very good. Geno Smith turned his career around at the very end, right now. So I have him marked in dark green, which means he was the best quarterback of that draft. And I have E.J. Manuel as this orangish tannish color, and that means he was a disappointment. Yes, he wasn't a top 10 pick, but he was a first round pick, and he was bad. So far, GM's 0 for 1. Then in 2014, Blake Bortles was the first quarterback taken. He was taken at number 3 overall. Then Johnny Manziel, both disappointments. However, there was talent in this draft. It's not like the previous year where it was pretty barren. But Derek Carr and Jimmy G, both solid quarterbacks. I know people hate on Jimmy G and Derek Carr, I guess, but they're both startable quarterbacks, at least for several years. So they were available, and they ended up getting picked in the second round. So once again, GMs around the NFL just missed it. And then the next year, man, we are on a 3-year terrible streak for quarterbacks. But the first 2 picks were Jameis Winston and Marcus Mariota. Both bad for top 2 picks, but I don't know. I had Jameis Winston in dark green because he was the best quarterback in the draft, but I would still consider him a disappointment. Other than his great achievement of 30 touchdowns, 30 interceptions, he really hasn't done anything and is a backup quarterback. Same with Marcus Mariota, just more boring. But this is also the first instance of what I'm going to call a toss-up, which is when the top 2 picks are quarterbacks, which means, they're seen as the 2 best players, and in a lot of time in the media, people are debating which one's better than the other for weeks and months before the draft, so it is a toss-up. In this case, both of the toss-up items were bad. Up next, 2016. Finally, we get some good quarterbacks. So Jared Goff and Carson Wentz were taken 1 and 2. Another toss-up. In this case, the team made the right decision again. Jared Goff has been better than Carson Wentz throughout the career. However, not exactly the perfect decision because there was Paxton Lynch, and later in the first round, total bust. But in the 4th round, the Cowboys lucked into Dak Prescott, who is the best quarterback of this year's draft. Some people, maybe Lions fans, maybe Rams fans for some reason, might say Jared Goff is better than Dak Prescott. Yes, he does have more playoff wins, but just watching the game, Dak Prescott is marginally better than Jared Goff to me. So, I don't think there's a huge gap, but I do think Dak Prescott was the best quarterback in that draft, and he was taken in the 4th round. So far, this means that of the first 4 drafts I look at, in only one of them was the best quarterback, the first quarterback taken, and in only one of them, the best quarterback was taken in the 1st round. Okay, up next, 2017, there was Mitchell Trubisky, great Bears quarterback. He did go on to the Pro Bowl and, to the playoffs one year. Greatest Bears quarterback ever, maybe. Their quarterbacks were very bad. But shortly after, Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, they were both taken in the 1st round. Both very good quarterbacks. Even though we all hate Deshaun Watson, still a very good quarterback. So, yes, the GM sort of got it right because they were picked in the 1st round, but they weren't seen as surefire prospects that were top 5 picks. And now we're finally in the groove of some decent quarterbacks being taken, however, not with the first overall pick. So 2018, Baker Mayfield, first overall pick, Sam Darnold, third overall pick, and then Josh Allen was picked 7th. Then Josh Rosen was picked a few picks later, and then Lamar Jackson. So I have Lamar Jackson as the best quarterback. You can have Josh Allen as the best quarterback. Either way, they weren't top 5 picks. They weren't the first quarterback taken. They weren't the second quarterback taken. So just because there's talent in the draft does not mean GMs can find it. In 2019, Kyler Murray, first overall pick. Finally, the best quarterback is the first quarterback taken, and the rest of the quarterbacks taken that year are terrible. But still, Kyler Murray, I consider him pretty good. It's not like he's a home run draft pick. Keep your expectations tame, I guess. Then, 2020, what looks to clearly be the best quarterback draft in a long time is Joe Burrow, taken number 1 overall. Have him as the best quarterback from the draft. Some people may debate this, but I think he is. I think he's top 3, top 4 quarterback in the league when he's healthy. So I have him as the best quarterback from that draft. Then Tua, who is a solid player. Some people might hate him. I don't really know why. He seems like a nice dude, but solid, top 10 or 15. Herbert, one of the most talented quarterbacks in the league. Jordan Love looks promising now, and then Jalen Hurts has already gone to a Super Bowl. So you really couldn't go wrong in this year's, or in 2020's NFL draft for the quarterback, but they did get the right one first overall. Then 2021 looked pretty promising, but it has not worked out. Trevor Lawrence, the golden boy, number 1 overall pick, his career's been kind of, so he hasn't really done anything special, at least to me. Then Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, generational bust. Justin Fields was only worth a 6th round pick and got sacked over 10% of the time. And Mac Jones, everybody hates him. So, yeah, rough draft. And the next year is just as bad, except for a late round flyer. 2022, Kenny Pickett, picked late in the first round. He got traded for, a 5th round, roughly, or equivalent roughly to a 5th round pick. Desmond Ridder, Malik Williams in the 3rd round. So that shows only 1 quarterback taken the first 2 rounds. The NFL knew there was nobody good. But there was a surprise winner with Brock Purdy as Mr. Irrelevant at the end of the draft. Kind of saved the draft class, but that was just luck. And then, finally, last year, 2023, Bryce Young was picked number 1 overall. He has been bad. CJ Stroud, 2 overall, was good. So this toss-up, finally, number 2 in the toss-up is better than number 1. And then Anthony Richardson was picked at number 4. He looked really good, then he got hurt. Might be the story of his career. And Will Levis looked promising in the 2nd round. Okay, so I've gone over everyone. So some interesting things that stuck out to me. In only 4 out of 10 cases, the best quarterback taken from the draft was the first quarterback taken from the draft. In 4 out of 10 cases, the best quarterback from the draft was not taken in the first round. I mean, that alone kind of shakes you to your core if you believe you have the best quarterback in top 3 pick. Because it is so hard to predict. These people get paid millions and millions of dollars. They spend their entire life doing it, and they just can't predict it. So, then in these 1-2 toss-ups, where the number 1 pick is a quarterback, number 2 pick is a quarterback, in 3 out of 4 of them, I would say the number 1 pick was better than the number 2 pick, with Jameis Winston being better than Marcus Mariota, Jared Goff being better than Carson Wentz, Trevor Lawrence being better than Zach Wilson, of course, and then it went wrong with CJ Stroud being better than Bryce Young. So if you have the number 1 and number 2 pick, seems like teams are pretty decent at comparing the two and picking the better one out of just those 2. But, this is a small sample size. That's probably just randomness. So overall, teams do not know what they're doing. I guess if you look at it this way, 6 out of 10 best quarterbacks were taken in the first round. But it is just random. You can hope, you can speculate, but we'll have to wait and see. So thanks for watching the video. Subscribe, like, and I'll see you later.